If you give that to Caroline.
Sorry, is you better be? Yes.
Perfect. Just give it to give it to Caroline.
I think he's bringing it up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Her name is Mrs. Bao, and I was 14 years old. I was actually at her house one day. She's one of my mum's good friends, and I was sitting around one day. I was reading a copy of one of her magazines. It was called The Nexus magazine. I was flicking through it, and I just found everything in it so interesting. And she said to me a sentence that, well, inadvertently, I'm sure she would have known, it really influenced my life. She said, "Ivan, if you like what's in that magazine, then there's a shop in Clarence Street called AYP Bookshop. If you go there, you're really going to love it." Of course, she said it in a much older voice because she was about 8 years old. So, with that, I say, welcome to my speech. It's called Adventures in AYP, and it's about a bookshop. In case you don't know, it's a bookshop in Clarence Street, well now Bathurst Street, called AYP Bookshop, which has given me a lot in my life. It's the interesting thing about AYP is I can walk in there and I can trace different parts of my life back to that bookshop. I can say I was shopping there when I was 14, I was shopping there when I was 18. It's an amazing place to be. Of course, now it's different because it's in Bathurst Street and it's much smaller. I started when I was 14. The first section that I ever went into was the self-hypnosis section. See, when I was 14, I was in year 9, and to be honest, I was dumb in year 9. I was in advanced maths, I was last in advanced maths, so I bought a book on self-hypnosis and I got a tape recorder, and I recorded myself. "Ivan, you are amazing at mathematics. You are a leader in mathematics. You are one of the best in mathematics." Now, I listened to it over the course of maybe like 3 weeks, whatever. Believe it or not, like I was last in year 9 in advanced maths, and then I was maybe 5th in 10th in advanced maths, and somehow that got me into 3 in maths, yada, yada, yada. But that was the self-hypnosis section. I was addicted to the self-hypnosis section for a while. But from the self-hypnosis section, I found myself migrating over to the self-improvement section. And when I was about 20 years old, I picked up a book by Anthony Robbins called Unlimited Power. Anyone heard of Anthony Robbins? Amazing guy, amazing guy, amazing guy. I read Unlimited Power, I fell in love with Unlimited Power, I got addicted to Anthony Robbins. I had goal sheets on my wall, I would highlight my goals as I would achieve them, everything. I did Unlimited Power twice. I spent $3,000 to walk on hot coals, twice. It was an amazing experience. I highly recommend it to everyone. In fact, the second time I did it, I walked over and I walked around. It is real, because like, I wasn't in state and I burned my foot when I put my foot on. But then you get in state and you can walk over it. After that, I discovered the self-improvement section. I won't go on to that. But I had many questions about life, many questions about spirituality. And eventually I went over into this one section called the Mavericks section. It's Mavericks because they're revolutionary people. And I bumped into a guy called David Icke, which not many people have heard of. He's a revolutionary. And a lot of the things that I really got into him, I really got into him passionately. And his essential thesis is that there is a small group of people that want to control the world. They are hell-bent on world domination. They all gather around the corner in the Freemasons Lodge every couple of weeks. And their essential goal is to microchip the world population, to control the money supply, to control the world. And there's a lot of political arguments that he puts up, which I think are pretty strong. He does link it to spirituality as well, and that's his controversial part. He actually believes that the world is controlled by a group of I should say it, I don't believe it, reptile-human hybrids. So we won't go there. Okay. So I was really into David Icke. I really got into his thing. Then after that, after David Icke, I discovered this other section. I bumped into a book called Holy Blood, Holy Grail. I don't know if many of you have heard that. It's essentially the book that the Da Vinci Code ripped off. These guys took the Da Vinci Code to court and somehow they lost, but it's a complete rip-off of that. And at the time I was a member of a Western religion. I don't want to offend anyone, so I won't mention the name of it. But I read this book, and it just made me ask a lot of questions. A lot of questions. And said, "Whoa, is everything I believe true? I've just been told to believe this. Do I actually believe it? I don't know." So I left that Western religion on one day. And that led me to the final section, which was the shamanism section. I discovered the shamanism section, and I bumped into a book called The Doors of Perception, which from what I know It started the hippie revolution in the 60s. It's an amazing book. I just read this book and I was like, wow, this is mind-blowing. So I read that book and I encountered some people and I discovered some things, and it taught me everything I wanted to know, the books and the lessons that I wanted to know in that section. And that led me finally to where I am now, which is, I'm in love with, it's not homosexual, but I'm in love with Ken Wilber and Alan Watts. They're two amazing philosophers, Eastern philosophers, so I love their work. And the entire thesis of their work can be summed up in a quote from a movie called I Heart Huckleberries. It's like, the universe is a giant blanket. You think you're one part of the blanket, someone else thinks you're another part of the blanket, someone else thinks you're another part of the blanket, but we're all blanket. Just remember that, we're all blanket. Thank you.